She stood in the doorway with her coat already on, keys in her hand, avoiding my eyes the way someone does when they already knows they're doing something cruel. Her voice was careful, rehearsed. She said the kids were excited, that this trip meant a lot to them, and that it would be better if I stayed behind, just for a few days. They want to spend time with their real dad, she added, as if that word didn't cut straight through my chest. I nodded like I understood, like I hadn't been the one waking up at night when they were sick, tying shoelaces, packing lunches, sitting through school meetings, cheering at games. I wasn't their real dad, apparently. Just the man who filled the space until the real one decided to show up again. The kids hugged me quickly before rushing to the car, their excitement louder than my thoughts. I smiled for them. I always smiled for them. When the door closed and the engine started, the house felt hollow, like all the air had been pulled out at once. At first, I told myself it was just a trip. A few days of silence. I'd clean the house, maybe fix the shelf I kept postponing. I'd wait. That's what I'd always done. Waited for explanations, for appreciation, for the feeling that I truly belonged. But the silence didn't feel temporary. It felt final. That first night, I sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at the empty chairs. Memories crept in uninvited. The first time the kids called me dad by accident and laughed nervously. The way she corrected them quickly, saying, "He's not your dad, remember." Even though they looked confused, even hurt. I remembered swallowing my pride, telling myself love didn't need titles. I checked my phone. No message. No we arrived safely. Nothing. The next morning, I woke up early out of habit. Made breakfast for 4 before realizing what I was doing. I threw it away and touched. The quiet was louder than any argument we'd ever had. I walked through the house and noticed how little of me was actually there. My things were always tucked away, always temporary, as if I was a guest who overstayed his welcome. By afternoon, curiosity turned into something darker. I opened social media, not really expecting anything, but there it was, a photo. The kids smiling, arms around a man I recognized immediately. Their real dad. She was there too, standing close to him. Close enough that her body leaned into his without thinking. The caption said, "Family time." My hands shook, not with anger at first, but with clarity. Suddenly, everything made sense. The late-night texts she hid, the sudden changes in plans, the emotional distance she blamed on stress. I wasn't being asked to stay behind for the kids. I was being erased to make room for someone else. I scrolled more. Another photo. Another smile. No mention of me. No acknowledgement that someone else had been holding their lives together while this man was absent. I felt foolish for every excuse I had made on her behalf. That evening, she finally texted, "Hope you're okay. Kids are happy." That was it. No question mark. No warmth. Just a status update. Like I was a neighbor watching the house, not the man she shared a bed with. I didn't reply. Instead, I started packing. Slowly at first, then with purpose. I folded clothes, stacked books, collected the pieces of myself I had scattered throughout the house. Each item felt like proof that I existed, that I hadn't imagined my role in this family. I found drawings the kids had made for me, hidden in a drawer. One said, "I love you," written in uneven letters. I sat on the floor and cried for the first time since they left. Not loud, dramatic crying. Just quiet tears that came from exhaustion, from being unseen for too long. By the third day, I had made my decision. Not out of rage, but out of respect for myself. I realized that staying would mean accepting a lifetime of being second, of being convenient, of being invisible. Love shouldn't require erasing yourself. I wrote a letter. Not long. Just honest. I told her I knew. I told her I couldn't keep pretending I was okay with being a placeholder. I told her I loved the kids deeply, but I couldn't stay in a life where I was only needed when it was comfortable. I left the letter on the kitchen table, right where she'd see it when she came back. Then I did something I never thought I'd have the strength to do. I took my bags, locked the door, and walked away from the house without looking back. Each step felt heavy, but also strangely light, like I was finally breathing after years underwater. While they were gone, I ended it all. Not with a fight, not with shouting or accusations, just with truth and absence. When she called later, frantic, asking where I was, I didn't answer. When the messages came, apologetic, confused, defensive, I read them once and then put my phone down. Some endings don't need explanations beyond what actions already explained. Weeks later, I heard through mutual friends that things hadn't gone as planned, that the real dad wasn't as present as he appeared online, that the kids asked about me often, that she realized late the difference between someone who shows up for photos and someone who shows up for life. I wish them no harm. Truly. I still hope the kids are okay, but I no longer hope for my place back in that house. Because I finally learned something important while they were gone. Being chosen matters. And if you're only loved when you're useful, leaving isn't abandonment, it's survival.